Good morning. It's Janet with Virtual Instructor, and welcome to my Monday Live. And today I'm going to show you how to use smart graphics, or smart art, I should say, to create simple infographics. And then I'm going to show you a site that has some really cool already made infographics for you so that you can customize them in PowerPoint, Google Slides, or Keynote. So they've got them already set up for you. Alrighty, so let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to pop over, and this is our website, virtualinstructor.com. And if you like these Monday Lives, they're just 15 minutes. I bring you a different tip every week. Then you can go to Monday Live calendar topics. And if you would like an email 1 hour before the presentation on Mondays, we don't bombard you, then just sign up here. And so we're talking about infographics today. Next week, I'm going to talk about some Zoom updates. So if you're a Zoomer, we'll be talking about that. And then on March 14th, I'm going to show you some tips on, hey, Terry, nice to see you. I'm going to show you some tips on how to use headers and footers in Word. If you don't know these tips, you can get kind of frustrated. But once you know these tips, it makes it a lot easier for you. All right, so now let's pop over to PowerPoint. And I went ahead and created some smart art already for you so you can kind of get an idea. And if you haven't used smart art before, you can actually use this, what I'm going to show you, in Word, in Excel, even in Outlook. So I just happen to be doing them in PowerPoint right now. So here are some where I actually filled some things in. So I'm going to move to a blank slide, and in any of the programs, you'll go up to the Insert tab, and then you go over to Smart Art. And so if you click on Smart Art, this is just a way of taking text and or graphics and making them look more interesting. So you have over at the far left, you have all, which is scroll down and see all of them. But I'll go through and show you the list. So here's the list options, and I'll scroll down so you can kind of see some of the different, look at all the different types of lists you can do. If you have some process you want to show, I'll go back toward the top and scroll down a teeny bit just so you can kind of get an idea. So quite a few things. You've got cycle, hierarchy. This is great if you need to do like organizational charts, things like that. Relationships. And I'll choose a couple of these so you see how easy they are to fill in. Matrix, pyramid, pictures. So this is if you want to have these different infographics, but you want to make sure you can bring pictures in. So it's really easy to choose from there. And then they've got some other ones over on office.com. So I'll start out with, how about the cycle? And we'll just choose one of these cycles. How about this one right here? So I'm just going to click on it. It tells you a little bit about what that particular smart art is kind of designed for. And then all you have to do is choose OK. Now it comes in, and if you notice, there are little circles in all the corners and at 3 of the 4 sides. Then there's this little arrow here. If I click on it, it actually opens up the place where you can type your text. So you can either type your text directly in where it says text, or you can type it in this little bullet area. So I'm just going to type it in here, and I'm not going to be real creative. I'll just put in, let's see, marketing. And then in here, I'll just put in social media. And then I'll just put in HR. I'm going to get lazy so I don't have to type too much. And admin. And I'm just going to get lazy here. We'll put in test. Test. And I'm just going to copy now because I don't want to type too much. And then paste it here. Paste it here, paste it here, paste it here. Okay, got a little lazy on you, but see how quickly it filled it in there for you? So that's kind of cool. Now watch what happens. If you click anywhere kind of in the white area, if this shows up and you don't want to see it, just click on that little button again and see how it shrinks it for you. And then what you can do is you can resize it. So you can make it bigger or you can make it smaller. See that? And so that's really, when I go back over here, these are all ones that I filled in. So these are all actual infographics that I filled in. So if I click the little arrow, see how it comes up with what I filled in. close it, goes away. This is another one that I did, and I just filled that in. And this one I actually brought in graphics. So I'll show you how easy that is. Here's another one. Again, click on it. You always see that little flyout. So it's very consistent once you kind of see how it works. It's just they come up looking differently. So you always go over to that left, the middle part of the margin, and click on there. And then this is where you can start filling things in. If you wanted to add another one in here, you can just hit enter, and then you add another one. So you get kind of fancy. Some of them don't work so great if you add, and some do. So you can kind of play around with that. Now, I'm going to go back over to this blank one, and I'll go back over to insert. And on insert, I'll go back over to the Smart Art for you. Then let's go down to picture, because this is kind of fun when you can bring in pictures. So I have this one. I did this in the previous one, but I'll choose this one here. And it comes in pretty large. So remember, you can always resize it. And then you can kind of just get the four-headed arrow. Whoops, wrong one. Go to the border, get the four-headed arrow, and then you can kind of move it around. I'll shrink this one out of the way. All right. So now here we have pictures. So again, if I click to get kind of the outside border around this, you see that same little flyout where you can put your text in, right? And then here, if I want to do a picture, it actually pops up with this little thing where I can choose from a file. I can go to stock images. I can go to online pictures, and I can bring in from the icons. So let's go over to stock images, and I'll just pick some images to come over. So let's just go over to, how about design? Let's see what we've got going on over here. Okay, I'll just start clicking on things. I'll bring this one in, insert it, and now I have that design. See how easy that is? So I can come back over here, stock image, and let's go to day, see what we've got there. I'll bring this bird in. There we go. And stock images again. This is how difficult it is. Not hard at all. Hardest thing is knowing which one to put in there. So let's put this flower one in there. Okay. So now let's talk about how you can change the look of it. So with any of these that you bring in, just like drawing objects and some of the other things that you insert into PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Outlook, you name it, when you click on it, it gets another little tab shows up. Now watch as I click away that this Smart Art design goes away. See that? You got to select the object and then always look up here to see if there's any kind of extra tabs they gave you. In this case, they gave us two. They gave us a format, and then we've got the Smart Design. Now on the Smart Design, this is kind of fun. Let's say you started filling this in, and then you're like, well, I kind of want to change this around. I'm not sure what I want. Then if you look over here where it says layouts, you can click on the drop down, and it gives you other layouts that are kind of designed for what you entered. So maybe I think I like this one better. So I can click on that, and I've just changed it. And whatever text I put in here would show up. So I'm going to put in leaf, and then I'll put in flower, and then I'll put in bird. How creative was that, huh? So notice how I could type it right in here, or I click over here, there it is. So I could change that. Maybe those look like, I'll change it. I don't know. I'll put in palm leaves. How's that? Okay, so you can easily change that. Now again, once I've got it selected, I can collapse that if I want. And I could go back up here, and I might say, well, I'm not sure that I really like it that much. So I want to try it with maybe a different infographic. Maybe I want to try this one. So hopefully this is giving you ideas on how quickly you can change things and start creating some kind of interesting infographics that you might incorporate into a document, into a flyer, even into an email if you wanted to. Now I'm going to go back and choose one of the, I think the first one I did, which was, I think it was this one. So, so this one, I can see some changes a little bit better. Now, while I have it selected, then you can change colors. Now, this comes off of your color palette so it's basically the design that you've got selected in PowerPoint. So right now, look at those colors. Now I'm going to come back over here to design. And if you've never done this before, this is kind of where you can change kind of the default colors that you're going to use. So I'm going to go to this one, and it's kind of changed the look, right? If I go back over to the Smart Design and I look at the colors, see how they've changed? So it's the colors that are associated with the design that you've got for your particular presentation. And so maybe I'll go back and choose one more. I'll go back to what it was before the default. And whoops, right over here. Now we're back to this one. Okay, one more little thing I'll show you in here. Pop back over so you can change your colors, right? So I'll choose these colors instead. And you can also apply smart styles. So if I click on this, notice I can change the look of these. I'm just hovering over them so you can kind of see the difference. So you can get some kind of interesting different looks going on here. I think I'll go with this one. That's kind of cool, right? All right, so if you didn't know about this and you were trying to create this yourself, that's a heck of a lot of work, right? Alrighty, so that's how you can use smart art to do some kind of interesting things that you might want to add, different ways to have lists in your presentations, documents, that sort of thing. Now, there's a website that I just found, and I just subscribed to it, or I just purchased this stuff. And I'm going to show you what they give you, what comes when you buy it. They have some kind of sale going on. I just saw it today. I am not associated with them, but I did actually get them because I think I can use them. So I'm going to go back up to view because I've loaded up a few of them. And then I'll show you where the website is in case you're interested. I'll click on switch windows. And so they have a bunch of different pre-created, I guess, infographics for you. And they've got them for PowerPoint, Google Slides, and also Keynote. So this is the one I brought up for PowerPoint. This is the business infographics. And check this out. I'll go into slideshows so you can see this a little bit better. So you can see, look at these slides, these different infographics. Now you'll put your own data in, but rather than having to try to create this from scratch, which you could, it's just a little more work. They already have all this stuff in here. So it's kind of cool what they've given you. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape and then I'll go back up to view and I'll switch over. This is the customer journey map. Not so thrilled about the colors, but remember, you can always change that. But if you add a customer journey map, look at all these ones that they've got pre-set up for you. So you don't have to do all the work of designing it. You just need to fill in your information. And I'll show you one last one, and then I'll pop you over to that website in case you're interested in that. So I'll go back to view and I'll click on the drop down, and then I just chose demographic. They have a whole bunch of these. So I just chose 3 of them randomly for you. So I'll go back over and show, here's demographics. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that's a lot of work to have to do it yourself. So I think these are kind of neat. So it might be kind of fun. I think I'm going to probably, I know I will definitely use them to save myself time. All right, last thing I'm going to do is pop you over to the website where I found these so that you would have an idea of where to find them if you're interested. Apparently there's some kind of sale. So it's basically 50% off. I think it was like $49 to get all those different slides and infographics. So it's called Infographic, but it doesn't have the H. So it's infograpia.com. And they've got some kind of sale going on. I just went over there today and actually was impressed with it enough that I actually purchased them. So here's infographics compatible with PowerPoint, Keynote, and Google Slides. And then you have lifetime access to all this stuff and any upgrades they do. So it looks kind of cool. So if this is something that you think you might use quite often, you might check it out and see if it's any good for you. Alrighty, I'm going to pop back over and say thank you so much for attending today's Monday Live. Next week, I'm going to talk about some updates with Zoom. So they've added a lot of neat features. So if you use Zoom a lot, you might find that kind of helpful to know about some of these things. Like, did you know you could add a video to your waiting room? Got some nice things in there. Thanks, and wonderful. Thanks, Jerry. And then after that, the next day, next week, Monday, March 14th, I'll be talking about headers and footers, some tricks with that. So if you have to use headers and footers and you don't know some of these tricks, you might want to throw your computer out the window quite often. So hopefully I will be able to save your window and your computer. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for attending and watching our Monday Live, and have fun, hopefully, with setting up some infographics. Bye.